If you're a total noob, mid-game player, or even a maxed main account with minimal PvM experience looking to level up your playing and start tackling tougher content, you've come to the right place. OSRS is not a particularly user-friendly game to get to grips with, other than click on the monster, eat the food, use prayers, and use special attacks. A lot of the core mechanics that you need to utilize to kill bosses effectively are hidden in this ancient game's janky engine. For the average player, they aren't skills you will pick up naturally by simply playing the game. The tip of the iceberg is getting to grips with movement and pathing and the tick system. This impacts the way you play the game in dozens, if not hundreds of ways. I'd grow my virginity back by the time it would take me to go through every single tiny way they impact gameplay. So today, as with all my guides, we're going to give you the essential need-to-know information to take your gameplay to the next level. Every single boss in RuneScape boils down to pretty much just three things. Make sure you don't run out of HP, make sure your character's in the right place at the right time, and make sure you're using the correct prayer. This guide is going to make all of that happen. Let's start with an immediate disclaimer. I'm also bad at RuneScape, so before all of the armchair experts and mega sweatlords call me a noob in the comments, I am fully aware. This is all stuff that I've learned about fairly recently, and it's helped me progress my account faster than I ever imagined possible. I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, so I believe I'll be able to explain all of this in a super simple way that anyone can understand. Feel free to share your extra tips in the comments below. We could easily make this video an hour long, but I don't think that would be easily digestible information. So we'll go through the basics here, get you learning, and even provide some suggestions for things for you to go away and try yourself to put it all into practice. I'll also be working on some more specific guides going into some of these mechanics and systems in a lot more detail. So stick around and subscribe if you want to catch those, or just want to support me and boost my channel in the almighty algorithm. Let's crack on with the most essential part that underpins everything we're going to cover here today, the tick system. In its most simple form, a tick is an interval of 0.6 seconds. This is how frequently the game server can register any action. You can easily see this in practice by getting a 100 BPM metronome up, or even some music with the same tempo. Now you've got your metronome or your favourite 100 BPM track playing, simply start walking in RuneScape. You'll move one tile every 0.6 seconds. If you run, you'll move 2 tiles every 0.6 seconds. We'll come back to the whole importance of running versus walking later, and it's not all about the speed of movement. If you take this to the next level and start walking back and forth, you'll notice that no matter how fast you click, you cannot change direction any faster than every 0.6 seconds. And any input after the 0.6 seconds will queue for the next interval. This does not just apply to movement. Every action in the game occurs on the next tick after it's queued unless you've performed an action, for example a melee attack, that would cause a delay of a certain amount of ticks. For example, when in combat your weapons have an attack speed. This is a certain amount of ticks between each attack. Food has a tick delay too, however, drinking potions does not. All of these different tick delays, or lack thereof, can lead to some weird interactions. I'll add a link to the wiki on ticks and the in-game clock for a bit of light bedtime reading, but it's going to be easiest for me to explain with the most famous example, the triple eat. If you've got an inventory of sharks and you're trying to heal up, each shark has a 3 tick delay. If you've got a weapon with a 4 tick attack speed, that'll total to 7 ticks between attacks. We've established that potions don't take up a tick, so you can drink up a Saradomin brew on the same tick and increase your healing. We can level this up again, as for some reason Karambwans can be eaten on the same tick as another food. That's 3 health restoring items eaten in 1 tick, which can be absolutely life-saving in a stressful PvM situation. Something to be aware of though, although you can combo with the Karambwan, it also increases your tick delay by a further 2 ticks. You should try this out yourself and see if you can eat all 3 items in 1 tick. You'll probably most often hear ticks talked about in skilling tick manipulation methods, but that's something I go outside way too much to know anything about, and we're tackling PvM here. But it's something to be aware of if you desperately want long-term hand pain and fast number go up on your RuneScape account. To get a real feel for the tick system, I'd suggest learning an essential PvM mechanic, prayer flicking. This comes in 2 delicious flavours, lazy flicking and the 1 tick flick. The goal of prayer flicking is to have your prayers on, but to not use any prayer points. As we said earlier, every game interaction happens on a tick. If you turn your prayer off and on in between ticks, it's never registered as being off for more than one tick. That means you've got infinite prayer points if you're good enough at this technique. The lazy flick is the simplest to learn. Simply turn your prayer on before a monster's animation starts, and turn it off as soon as the animation has started. Another quirk of the engine is that most monsters calculate damage when the animation starts, not when you actually get the hit splat, so make sure you're praying before the animation starts. There are plenty of exceptions to this, but they're mostly in new content like Leviathan and Scurrius being great examples. If you've done this correctly, you won't take any damage. The next level up is the one tick flick. I can just about do this on a Slayer task, but there's no way I'm good enough yet to do this during a proper PvM encounter, but plenty of people definitely can. Basically, turn your prayer on and then turn it off repeatedly between every single tick. Utilising quick prayers will allow you to get both an offensive boost and a protection prayer up constantly with literally zero cost. I'm sure you can see why this would be useful for squeezing out a few extra boss kills or Slayer monsters, saving cash on prayer potions, and just generally getting things done a little more efficiently. Good luck with the carpal tunnel though, it's not something I'd ever want to do for more than short bursts. Now we've covered the basics of the tick system and applied it successfully with the triple E and prayer flicking, let's tackle some basic movement mechanics. When your character's running around, unless you're standing completely still, you're never actually positioned where your avatar is. The character animation is always slightly behind the real server-side position of your character. This position is called your true tile, and you can see this with the RuneLite plugin, Tile Indicators. Turn this on, run around, and see for yourself. Now we know our character's real position, and we can use that to avoid mechanics in PvM. We've already established that walking is 1 tile per tick, and running is 2 tiles per tick. This isn't just up and down, left and right, it works diagonally too. Now, you might ask, why does all this matter? I just click somewhere and my guy runs there eventually. Well, yes, but actually no. When you're running and moving 2 tiles at a time, your character is never actually registered on every other tile. This is ridiculously useful in any PvM content with area damage or obstacles to avoid. Duke's prep phase is the best example I can think of, allowing you to run over the little shadows instead of avoiding them. It's also super useful in the Hallow Sepulchre, allowing you to step over these little yellow teleports. Usually they'd be a massive inconvenience. If you want somewhere to practice this and put it to use, the falling debris on Scurrius is a great place to give this a try with as little risk as possible. If you've made it this far, drop me a like and subscribe to the video. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, which will be a massive milestone for me. And whilst you're down there, check out the Discord. We've got an awesome little community of players, all helping each other out, and we're looking at getting a little bit of a weekly PvM schedule on, helping people to send their first raids. To quickly summarise, mastering movement patterns and timing will get you all the way to the hardest content in the game once you've learnt the mechanics of the fights themselves. You can check out the quick boss guides on my channel to learn more about those. Big shout out to Chizomni and Omega0240, my gold tier channel members. If you want to help me out even further, check out my channel memberships, also linked in the description. I'm not offering anything extra as I don't believe in charging for access to my content or to be part of my community. It's just an extra way to say thanks to me. That's all from me. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time.